So today I'm showing my new release book, Colorist's Special Effects in marker pens. My others in the range are mainly based on coloured pencils. So it's really exciting to do this in marker pens. I can't believe I've got to book 7. When I started, this is my first one, Colorist Special Effects. It's not actually called book 1 because I didn't know I would go on and do 7 of them. This one is the only one that's translated into Spanish, and the others, all of the items inside, they're all different. The items and effects, they're, you know, I try to keep them as diverse and varied for each book so that you're getting good quality content each time and not things that are repeated. So here we go with the normal cover design, and let's get straight into it. So bubbles, I'm just going to make sure you can see that. Yeah, so I do the usual steps. I try to use useful down-to-earth descriptions so that you can understand, obviously with a picture that goes with it, and when it can be, the picture is actually what I have drawn. Sometimes in the book you'll see further along I might use a digital colour across something, and that's just because the actual what I'm doing, the pen is so close to the other pen, it wouldn't show up and you wouldn't understand. So yeah, this is the finished thing. This is exciting. This is bubbles, and I should have a picture here. Yes, this is the original bubble drawing. I've got neon pink in here, which hasn't shown up in the finished piece through this, you know, my computer and the printing process. So please note, you can make it brighter if you want to add neon pink, which I have written in here so that you can try and get the gist. Here we go with making a transparent ghost across your images. Great for coming up for spooky time, Halloween. We've got light on the back of plants, which you could use for bushes or any, you know, any sort of idea. This lovely glossy bear, electric vibe, some techniques in there to get a base layer of subtle zigzaggy lightning, and then how to make it even more vibrant on top. The mirror ball, loads of fun to do, and a good finish. I've shown you how to do the reflections around the room, because obviously light bounces off it. There's lots of ideas and practice for blending in here, showing you how to apply light and shade, highlights, which make the world of difference, having contrast and focal points to your items. Here we have the glittery shoe with all the steps. You've got the base colours, and then how to apply the dots and spots. So some are large, some are small, and then in, you know, some in dark, some in light, and obviously the finishing touch that gives the final drama is using the white. I tend to use white Posca acrylic paint pen. You might have a different form, a gel pen that's white. Here's my original shoe drawing. Obviously it's got some marks on. I clean that up, obviously, any of my marks, clean it up to put into the book. And here we have the glittery lips, and it shows you how to create the creases of the lips, the shape and the form, build it up with different tones, the different colours to use and how to apply them. How I create teeth, I tend to use icy blue colours rather than greys, so that the teeth appear, I suppose, cleaner and sparklier. And then how to apply, this is a half glitter. I didn't do as much glitter as on the shoe. This is the original drawing. You can see all my workings to test out what colours I'm going to use. And yeah, this is a sweep of glitter. It didn't require full glitter. Entirely your choice again. Embroidery effect, how to make something look like it's a patch that's been sewn onto the page. And I show you how to do the edging. I use fine liners on top of the base shades to show the individual threads. And you know, different pens. I've got fine liners here. I'm showing I used biro, black biro, which everyone has for writing notes or their shopping list, and that's what I used for doing the edging, because it works great and it goes over the top of practically any material. And this goes on to show blending. So throughout the book you will learn my ideas and thoughts on how you can blend a bit easier and make your life a bit easier with it. And always best to blend wet. Yeah, when the inks are wet, they merge together better. Here's some embroidery finished. Then we have lots of different textures. I've got another knitted texture further along. And this is how to do rain on glass. If you've got a window, you might want to add a bit of a rainy effect. And really quite simple to do. So you just need your base colour or blended colours, whichever you want. I'll have to let this dry for a second. Yeah, so you see how I'm doing it sort of quick enough so that the ink's still wet on where they join. That will dry in a moment. That's just a hard surface for behind. Yeah, simple rain on glass, and it works out really effectively. Yeah. It's a case of black highlight, which I do on the left. I have done a bit of grey shading on the right, but then highlighted it with the white Posca paint gel pen. Another rainy window here, which is doing base layers in the alcohol markers. I don't know if I did state this book is about alcohol markers, which do work differently than water-based markers. And I use the Ohuhu Honolulu set. I've got the 204 set. So a range of colours, which isn't the biggest set that they do. More rainy windows, and I've just shown it here with some wallpaper. I couldn't think of the word. Wallpaper. Flames, I've shown the different steps here. Again, I try to explain it as simply as I can. And this is what it would look like if you blended it whilst each layer is sort of dried. But here I'm sort of suggesting to you, if you do some things while the inks are wet, so, you know, apply these different colours, have the lids off ready really quick, and then I've used the yellow to sort of move the colours around to create this effect, which is obviously different to this. So hopefully that makes sense when you read it and things in the book. I do go on to show you how you can apply the flames to make a cosy fireplace, with showing how to do stone, and there's the finished fireplace there. And because at the time of doing that I had those shades of fiery yellow, orange, red colours out, I thought I could do some tortoiseshell. So this is again showing and blending and creating tortoiseshell, which some of you may have on things like sunglasses. And then we have metal floor pattern, which is like a steel hard floor, which would be quite fun to do. I'm just going to hold on. So this ink has dried. So this rain effect I'm going to show you with the colourless blender. Is this one in shot? Yes. So literally what I've done is snaked, and this is a drip of rain running down the glass. You'll notice I'm doing some slow, keeping it in areas longer, which means that the ink will disperse more. It goes through to the back of the page, or it spreads out to the side, giving you the edges, which you see here. Yep. And when that dries, I would then add, with a black fine liner, some shadow to the side if I wanted to be, you know, standing out, some white highlights. You can see I've done a mixture, some without the black and the white on here, which are looking more distant and faint, and some that do have. That takes a while to dry, by the way, if you use the Colorist blender. Yeah, and inks, you know, just give it a bit of drying time. So we were up to, yes, so the metal floor. Then we've got shimmering water effect, which in some of my other books I have done this in coloured pencils. Loads of fun. A pond or lake water, so looking all murky. This is fun. Sequin panels, showing you different ideas for it. Here's the finishing thing with glints and shining. Good party atmosphere. Tiles, very helpful to have. I've got bevel tiles and a simple 4-step for doing easy tiles to bring a, you know, a wall to life. Pebbles. This is a pebble pavement, and I've shown you all the steps to create glossy pebbles. You can do, obviously, vary the colour, do them different colours, and this is my finished piece. And you can on some. I've done a yellow paint pen on the top of some at the top portion, which is giving it a bit of a sunshine glow. And then we move on to wood. Here again, I've shown using the Colorless, I've shown it as blue, just to help you understand that you're literally spreading the ink across. We've got rainbow wood grain, good for, I don't know, fairy tale sort of stuff. The tie-dye pattern, loads of fun. This is the original that I did. And for this, I've used the Colorless blender as a base because it helps to start off blurring the edges. Because to me, tie-dye is a bit sort of an out of focus look. Some of the colours didn't come through my scanning and printing process, but you know, you can use the colours you want. We've got ideas for knitted texture, which is sharp. Knitted texture, oh, there's my doggies barking. Confetti pattern, use on clothing, use on flooring, use on pictures or anything you want. Lots of ideas for colouring in t-shirts. Leopard print, we all love some fun leopard print. Then we've got the marble effect, which I've then turned into a pink marble effect. And then we move on to sheer curtains, which again we have the ghost. This is fun to do. You could do this as a full flooring rather than just a rug. And then we've got the gold bling. So yeah, hopefully this is useful to create shapes using the right colours to create gold. Some are sparkly and a bit sort of glittery, and some are shiny gold, like this ring here. The foil balloon bear, loads of fun. All you need is a circle. You can add 2 ears if you don't have it. Add it to a colouring page, or if you're just creating maybe a greetings card for somebody. And then towards the end, oh, add your own cute teddy face. Yeah, your own faces, whatever face you like. And then we've got gold bow, gold jug, gold sphere. There's open shapes on all sorts of pages. So all these things help uplift your artwork. This is brushed gold, so not the hyper shiny gold. And then of course bubbles and glitter to jazz it up. More gold here, and then at the end we have all these practice pages. So with these, just cut them out, photocopy them, reuse them, practice. Just have fun with it. That's what it's all about. Just have fun, being creative and expressive. So now it's time to say goodbye. Enjoy practicing your new skills and ideas, and applying them to your lovely artwork.